out. First quarter play slow on both sides of the football. Got behind the scoreboard really early. I thought started in the second quarter. Offense started to move the ball a little bit. Our defense started getting the rhythm and settled the game down. And the one thing that just kept showing up during the course of the game is just some undisciplined things. Just jumping off sides. Obviously, you got the 4 turnovers that are glaring at you. And again, we talked about that. You can't win with 4 turnovers. But ironically, we put ourselves in a position to have a chance to win that ball game. And just the lack of discipline is the thing that's the real tough pill to swallow. Just jumping off sides and the late hit on the quarterback, just stuff you can't do. With the time that we had on the clock, just can't do it at all. But the clock was already working against us, and I was forced to use all 3 of my timeouts with about 3 minutes, under 3 minutes 20 to go to give ourselves a shot. And can't overcome the offsides and the person following the quarterback. That's going to be a tough pill to swallow. What questions you got?
So there were a lot of mistakes on both sides. I think, but when you're playing a 3.5-hour game in that heat and it's intense, is it ultimately going to be decided by who kind of cracks under that heat and pressure? And
the heat's out there for everybody.
Yeah.
We could sit there and talk about the heat. The heat wasn't the issue. It's hot for everybody out there. And if we sit there and let the elements, control the way we play, then we're not a locked-in football team. We knew it was going to be hot. I think the most disciplined football team won today.
EJ had that, stretch where he was throwing it to the other team, and then he came back from that. What did you see in terms of and he missed some guys early, right? In early third quarter, open touchdown throws. What did you see in terms of the ebbs and flows in his game today?
I saw him get hit a lot in the first quarter. I saw him take a lot of hits, and I think that was something that he had to overcome. He had 2 new guys up front. Again, this is not an excuse, right? They had to settle in. It took them about a good quarter to settle in and play functional football for us. We got that under control, eliminated some of the hits. Took a nice big hit still in the fourth quarter on a touchdown throw, but in that little stretch from the first quarter through to that hit in the fourth quarter, I thought our offensive line, kept the hits off, but it probably riled them a little bit. We missed some wide open throws, missed a touchdown, dropped a couple too now. And it's just tough to win. It's just hard to win when you not making the plays that should be made. You're missing open receivers, open targets, dropping footballs, and turning the football over. It's just a nasty recipe, to try to win a ball game and overcome those things. So.
Did it just take a long time for the D-backs to settle in early, letting guys get behind them?
Yeah, everybody took a little bit for us to get settled in. Obviously you get some unscouted looks that were early in that game, and credit to those guys. They did a good job of preparation and found some holes in some of our deals, and there were some unscouted looks that hit us for some big yards. But I thought our defense settled down in there and found a way to get a few 3-and-outs. I think we had them, on their heels on defense at some point. Just a couple of just a couple of penalties, and I would love to get back on that side of the ball to give us a chance at the end of that deal to finish it with the ball in our hands, and that slipped away. But there were spots where I thought our defense played really well, given the slow start.
Yeah, was it the game plan was to try to get? You're always trying to get sacks and TFLs, but was it really aimed at trying to get them behind schedule? You got more negative.
Always a game plan. We had a dual threat in our quarterback. He is the real deal. He's a tough nut. And when you look at them being ranked 4th in American rushing football, it's all him. So we had to be very smart on how we pass rushed. You know, it wasn't about finessing around blocks. It was about compressing the pocket, you know, and really eliminating the space for him to escape out the pocket. And that was our game plan, is to make sure that we contained him to the best of our ability and give our DBs enough chance down the field to cover their wideouts. And there's times where that worked really, really well. You know, there was times where, you know, they were able to get some plays off of that stuff by running the ball. They had to, you know, give the ball to the tailback a lot, you know, which they had some success. And again, I thought our players on defense, for the most part, did a decent job against the run at times. But no, the game plan is always to keep them off schedule to the best of our ability. But that dual threat in that quarterback was something that we really had to account for.
You know, you came in as the least penalized team in the conference, but maybe haven't been in a lot of these intense sort of fourth quarter situations. Is that maybe, right, guys not knowing how to balance intensity at that late, but not?
Yeah, that would be a great excuse. I would love it. You know, just something that's not a guy that's going to give excuses. You know, we need to be disciplined on fourth down. You know, we need to watch the football. You know, football one-on-one, D-line triggers off the football. You know, there is nothing else on your mind at that point. It's the trigger on the football, and we didn't do that at the times we needed that to be done. So I'm not going to let that be an excuse for this football team.
And what was the status that you had a few guys who didn't make the trip? Joe Kaz, Luke Watson, and Siani.
Yeah, we got you know, Luke and Melvin Siani. Both of those guys were you know, day to day. Melvin Siani's gonna, you know, it's gonna be a minute before we get him back, and you know, Luke is working his way back. So we're dealing with some things behind closed doors, and you know, day to day situations. They were not